Hi, I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and we live in Barnstaple, which is in North Devon.
We live in an old farmhouse built around 1850. It's up on a hill with incredible views. Inspiration for the kitchen, I think we knew we needed to wean ourselves off of green, which we'd used excessively in our previous house. We wanted to borrow from the views and open things up a bit more.
Yeah, I think the inspiration for me was we were lucky enough in Bath to have a nice light kitchen with a Corian worktop and some quite unique sort of corner units, and also a butcher's block, and I think we wanted to carry some of those ideas forward because they worked so well in that where we lived previously, and we sort of missed that, didn't we, when we moved here. So the kitchen designer from Ashgrove, Colin, was fantastic from start to finish. He was really approachable, a really good listener. We had some quite sort of far out ideas perhaps for the kitchen initially, but he took it all on board. Nothing was too much trouble. He took the effort to give us different samples and also give his ideas to some of the suggestions we were coming up with, which really helped us formulate a really nice design. And right the way through, he visited a few times to help once the plans had been drawn up. We went through that in detail, and I remember coming with a huge long list of questions, and we went through them all, and it was all sorted. It wasn't too much trouble, and it gave us a lot of confidence that actually we were going to get the kitchen that we really wanted, and that was great.
Yeah, he had lots of good ideas of his own as well. Again, if there were things that we were thinking of and he thought, well, that's a good idea, maybe this is even better. So he gave us a steer on plenty of things, and we've definitely ended up with a better kitchen because of him than if we'd just prescribed it to somebody. Yeah, for sure. Colour-wise, again, we needed to wean ourselves off of the colour palette in the previous house, but we wanted to bring in some coastal elements. We had the natural wood already here. That had been sort of stained, so it was quite dark, so we did a lot of bringing things back to a more natural wood look, and that started to suggest some paler colours. Again, we were conscious of how dark the kitchen had been, and we started to make it so light that we realised actually we could get away with some bolder colours now that we created the light. So we wanted some contrasts and some coastal elements and things that offset the timber nicely.
And the colour scheme for me that I really liked was the sort of wood beams with the sort of dark navy look that probably is quite on trend at the moment, but we really liked that look and sort of wanted to incorporate that into the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we were lucky to have a butcher's block in our previous house in Bath. We didn't really have the space to put it in the sort of surround worktop, but we thought actually instead of an island, why not have a sort of freestanding bit of furniture with the butcher's block on top, so it's doesn't take up too much space, but you've just got that really nice work surface with the cooker and then the sink in the middle, so that worked really well for us doing that.
So the curved units in the kitchen, again, are something we've sort of borrowed from our kitchen in Bath. We loved the look of them, and we couldn't find anybody that was doing anything like that, so we'd sort of taken the opportunity to get photos. We showed them to Ashgrove, and they were very, yeah, that's okay, I'm sure we can do this.
And I really love the way that the curved units actually utilise the maximum amount of space in the corner. So sometimes with corner cupboards that we've used in the past, you're sort of diving around and trying to sort of reach things and you can't see properly, whereas with drawers it's so much more useful because you can actually see everything that's in there and get to it easily. So from a practical perspective it really works as well, but we love the look of it too.
So we had a Corian worktop before and got on very, very well with it. We love the fact that with Corian there's no seams, there's no creases that you need to try and get clean.
And I really like the lightness and the sort of effect, almost like a marble effect, that you can basically choose whatever style of finish you want with the Corian, and that was really nice to be able to sort of match that perfectly with the colour palette that we've gone for.
I know it's common to have a breakfast bar as part of an island in the middle of the kitchen. Once we decided we wanted the butcher's block to serve that purpose, we didn't want the butcher's block to be sort of crowded out by something around it. We also enjoy the space that we've got because it's just the butcher's block there. And then it just became obvious to take in that view and put a bar in there. It's again one of Colin's ideas, very clever, extra little bit of storage underneath that bar, and it gets more use as a breakfast bar because you're sat looking out at that view.
Yeah, and it was really nice that Colin suggested about putting slate as the kind of finish for the breakfast bar, whereas we could have had Corian or wood, but actually bringing in another material that worked well with the colour scheme and the sort of natural materials that we've gone for. That was Colin's suggestion as well, and we thought actually that could work. And then he also suggested the little curved shelving area next to the cooker would tie in nicely with that as the top there, so that sort of matched quite nicely with the breakfast bar, so we're really pleased with his suggestions there.
Okay, well, so Flashback, how that came about, we again we didn't really want to just have the room looking only like a fitted kitchen, so we're thinking of tiling options and thinking of glass splashbacks, and then we thought, well, actually it's a big chunk of wall. I wonder if we can actually have something that's an image there. Something that brings a creative element, a graphic element into the kitchen. So hopped online as you do, and looking for inspiration, and I saw some similar things, and then found a company that do a lot of tile work for commercial stuff, pubs and butchers and what have you, and then found the right image and gave it to them in the file they needed, and they created these tiles in the right colour, and it is something that people comment on. Not always sure everyone loves it, but
we love it.
We love it, yeah. Really, from the first point of contact with Ashgrove, everybody was very friendly, very accommodating. There was no pushy sales.
Yeah, and I think from my point of view that when it came to actually fitting the kitchen, I mean, the quality of the workmanship for fitting was second to none. Again, real attention to detail, making sure anything that wasn't quite right, it was either replaced or redone. So the finish was immaculate, wasn't it? And I think right from the start all the way through, they obviously have adhered to a very high standard. But
they had a very low threshold for things. They wanted it to be right to the point where there were things that they were sort of not 100% sure of, and we were delighted with. They were still sort of thinking,
it's not good enough.
Is that good enough? Yeah. In terms of aspects of the kitchen, there isn't any one that we're most pleased with. That maybe is a bit of a cliched answer. It is just really nice coming into our kitchen now. It's every bit of it is great. I come over from my office, I have my lunch here, I set up at the breakfast bar. It's the one room of the house that we actively want to keep clean, despite two small children in the place. I love the splashback, I love how it works with the cooker, I love the colour palette, I love the finished material on all the units. But it's how it all works together.
And just how nice and light it is. You just want to be in there. It's a pleasure to be in there cooking and enjoying the view. So we do feel very lucky.